Hey everyone, thanks for joining. We're going to be going live in just a few. So just get a coffee, get settled in, a couple minutes, give everybody an opportunity, and make sure when you chat, you send to all attendees so everybody can see it. And coming in from Miami here, where's everybody else from? Going to wait just another minute. Oh, we've got Brazil, New England, Atlanta, New York City. Wow. Switzerland, Geneva. All right. Welcome, Marco. We'll probably give it one more minute. We've got some great stuff lined up too. I think everybody's going to be super excited. All right. Liat, you ready to kick this off?
Yeah.
Awesome. First of all, welcome everybody for coming to our Wix Stores workshop. This is going to be super exciting. I'm Brett Harrelson, and joining us is Liat from Wix. Liat, welcome.
Hi, Brett, and hi, partners. I'm really excited to be talking with you all today.
Well, I won't lie. We're really excited to have you here. There's so much to jump into. Can you, before we do though, I want the partners to have an opportunity to know a little bit about you. Can you tell us a little bit about you and what you do at Wix?
Sure. So I lead e-commerce marketing at Wix. I've been with Wix about 6.5 years now. And I've been with the marketing department since I joined. I'm actually really excited to be talking with all of you today. I've had the opportunity in the past to work with Brett a little bit in terms of partner stuff and support you guys in the background. So I'm glad that I'm meeting you more in person today.
Well, we are really glad to be here. And they, like you said, in the background, they don't know how much amazing things that you and I have worked on and done for them. So it's really good to have you. So Liat, kind of talking about e-com. E-com is sounds complicated and there's a lot to cover. So what kind of for this workshop, what are the goals today and what are the things that anyone paying attention can or anyone tuning in could expect to take away from this?
Sure. So I'll actually shift slides there for you guys. I think especially now with really the whole world affected by COVID-19 and so many of us with shelter-in-place orders and life looking so different, we're seeing huge shifts in terms of what consumption looks like. So, you know, it's been a really challenging time, I think, for individuals, businesses, families, really all over the world. But at the same time, we're also seeing growth in certain areas and opportunities in the space of e-commerce because people are being forced to shift their buying habits online. So we want to talk about all of those trends and also examples of businesses who've been dealing with these changes in the recent months. We definitely want to talk about some exciting opportunities for partners in the space of e-commerce at Wix. And I'll touch a little bit on some of our upcoming features and product releases. So we'll do that, I think, at the end.
That sounds like a great layout and a plan to me. Also, one quick thing, if anybody's typing and have questions, please, we love questions. We have a hidden team that you can't see that's here actually from the stores team that's ready to take your questions. Also, some of them will actually, Liat, if you're okay, I'll ask a few questions as we go through this. But everybody make sure that when you send your questions, send it to all attendees too, so everybody can see it because it's really great, the engagement. We've got lots of partners here too. So Liat, let's jump into this. Tell us about these trends. What do you see that's happening?
Sure. So, you know, I touched on it a little bit before, but really we've seen major changes very, very quickly, right? Overnight, people are moving their buying habits online. And they're also buying new things online that previously they weren't, that they were going to brick and mortar businesses to get. So, you know, today at Wix, we have over 500,000 online stores on the platform around the world. So looking at that data, we can really get a lot of great insights about what e-commerce looks like and what buying habits look like. So I pulled some of those stats for us to look at today. And what I thought would be really interesting to look at would be the top 10 e-commerce product categories. So the numbers that we're looking here are for e-commerce sales during the month of April in comparison to January and February this year, right? So we're really seeing how that shift in consumer behavior is happening really, really quickly. So we're seeing huge growth in food and groceries. Obviously that makes sense because people need to buy that stuff from home now and have it delivered to their homes. We're also seeing a lot of growth in things that have to do with home decor, flowers, plants. So, you know, people are stuck at home, so they're really noticing what their home environments look like, and I want to make them better. Definitely in terms of pet care and animals, we all love our cats and dogs, and I guess when we're with them 24 hours a day, we really want to spoil them even more. Obviously, games and leisure, people need new ways of spending time cooped up at home, so they're looking for things to help them and their families do that. In terms of clothing and apparel, we're definitely seeing growth, but here I'll say that there is a shift, right? So I think typically in the past, we saw a lot of fashion clothing being sold, and the growth that we're seeing now is primarily coming from leisure wear and fitness apparel. Again, tying into how people are living at the moment. You got to work out at home. You're just kind of stuck at home, so you want to be comfortable with what you're wearing. Everything to do with health and beauty. I think a little bit of that is people wanting to take better care of themselves in advance. You know, obviously with all this virus and the health scares going on in the background, people want to be more proactive in their health. And then also, you know, you can't go to the hairdresser or to the beautician, so you might want to take care of some of those things at home. And then everything to do with like art, books, music, you know, all the things that comfort and inspire us. So I think those are the major trends. What we're looking at here is buyer behavior, right? So these are the categories that we're seeing huge growth in terms of shoppers buying these kinds of products. But I think what's really amazing is that we're also seeing the same kind of shift in terms of the kinds of businesses creating their stores at the moment. So I think we can take a look at some examples for that. And Brett, feel free to stop me if you want me to dive into anything specific.
Sure.
So I think with each one, we can also talk a little bit about the opportunity and the space for partners. So this is Carlos Pizza. They're actually a long-time Wix user. They've been with us for a few years, but they never actually sold online. So they only started selling online in the last few months. By the way, I'm not going to get into any of the financials of any of the businesses that we're looking at today. The only thing that I will say is that everyone that we're looking at is selling over $100,000 a month. So we're talking about very big businesses, but the actual details of that are obviously confidential. So Carlos actually started selling just now in the last couple of months. And they did some really interesting work with an online YouTube influencer who helped drive a lot of sales for them. They had like a huge peak in sales for a few days following their influencer campaign. So I think this was a really interesting shift of a business that we saw. So they'd had a website for a long time, but they had to start selling really quickly online during this period, and also figure out how they do online marketing to get those sales. So it was a really great example to see. Here we're looking at Maison Colombe. This is actually a French grocer. So they sell fresh fruits and vegetables and also dairy products. And they actually created their website in March. So not only did they create their website really recently, they created and started selling overnight. So this is a great example of a business that obviously already exists, a brick and mortar business. They obviously have a great customer base, and they had to shift their business really quickly from working offline to selling online.
So it seems to me though, Liat, that there are, in a lot of these opportunities, there are many local businesses that really are looking for an alternative solution where they're used to selling locally or having foot traffic or something like that. Now, obviously, due to many circumstances, I think a lot of businesses are kind of in one or two buckets where they were in a position to be prepared to sell online and have that space, or they're scrambling to get there. And I think sometimes, like you said, Marco's Pizza, for example, they did have a site, they were in that space, but they weren't selling online, and it changed everything. It's what an opportunity, right?
It's, I think, a huge opportunity, you know, an opportunity obviously for the businesses themselves to reassess how they function and also to shift their business during this challenging time. But it's a huge opportunity for partners. You know, I think for an offline business, especially having to do this so quickly now, there are so many things that they need to deal with. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes in the business. You know, each of these businesses also need to figure out how they're doing shipping and delivery. Some of them are having to offer curbside pickup. By the way, all features that you have on Wix Stores today. So I think that they could really use the guidance of partners who are experts in creating great online stores and websites, and also who can guide them in doing online marketing, which is probably something that's new for a lot of them too. I'll show you another example. So this one I really love because they're brand new. They actually opened their website in April. And they sell houseplants. They're based in London, but they ship all over the UK, and they are just doing incredibly well. It's really, really amazing. So another, obviously not new business, they're an existing business, but a new online store that we saw coming online recently.
That's amazing. So this is house plants, a local business that just went online and they're doing amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can see also, I'm sure it's a really basic website, right? So the website's really straightforward and they're doing really great business. But again, the opportunity here for working with somebody who's an expert in website design and can really help our users figure out how to make those beautiful online stores, there's a lot of opportunity there.
Absolutely. Agreed.
So I chose this one. It's a really interesting one. They sell amazing pet products and pet beds. And they're also new. They do international shipping during COVID. And they're definitely one of those great pet examples that people really want to splurge and spoil their pets at the moment. So they're an excellent example too.
That's great. So like you said, and in the other one, the pet care was up 600%. That's crazy. I know I've been buying lots of things for my cat, so I'm in that bucket too, Liat.
I'm sure. I've definitely bought some stuff for my dog recently. And I have to say, I find some, like, I see a lot of the Wix stores, so I'm partial to that. Like, I find some great examples of stuff as I go, and then I have to buy. I think actually working in Wix e-commerce marketing is not helping my pocket because I can't find products that I need.
That's funny. We actually have some good questions coming in. Keep them coming. We're gonna circle back to them. So sorry, Liat, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Let's keep going. This is great. Great examples.
So I think, like, around all these examples that we're talking about, and by the way, I didn't mention while we were looking at the slides, but some of those websites that I showed you guys are also using the Wix dropshipping solution connected to our modalist marketplace. So we've actually seen a lot of brand new dropshipping businesses open up during this period too. So, you know, I think one of the challenges that any business is facing at the moment is your supplier network, how are you managing to take care of delivery and shipping, and where some of your products or products inventory are low or unable to ship. Shifting to drop shipping or print on demand are really great ways to add additional inventory into a store and keep business up. So here's some opportunity for our partners. So just in the last 7 days alone, we've had over 2,000 e-commerce project requests in the Wix marketplace. And we have to say, we noticed that the e-commerce project requests are actually being under-delivered on in terms of filling out all of those requests. So I think any partner who knows how to do e-commerce or wants to give it a try, that's a huge, huge opportunity for you guys. As businesses are moving more and more online, they really need a lot of help and they need to do these things quickly. So they are definitely reaching out for that assistance.
And I'm really glad that you mentioned that too, Liat, because specifically within our partner community and other channels of contacts I have with partners, they are very, very busy moving clients online and exactly that. And if we're seeing this sort of a trend in our neck of the woods, it's as you said, this is global. So wherever people are, this is a great opportunity for you to really capitalize on this trend. I 100% agree with you, Liat.
Absolutely. So I think this is a good opportunity to dive a little bit more into Wix Stores and our e-commerce platform. I think that, I'd love to share a little bit of what we are doing and a little bit of what our businesses look like. So Brett, I'm going to hand over to you because I have a great video that I'd love
Perfect.
to.
I built a multi-million-dollar company just on the topic of that time of the month. As of today, the revenue is over $22 million. Ruby Love is leak-proof underwear and swimwear for your period. It's like a reassurance. I'm gonna be okay today. I'm gonna be okay if I go in the pool. I'm gonna be okay if I go to school. I'm gonna be okay. The first period kit is my favorite product that we sell, and it's because I know that it's giving a little girl something to look forward to. It's not a box just full of period stuff like my mother just gave me, like just go grab some pads. It's more of a box that she can look forward to, and the box looks like a box of chocolates. Like, it's just like, who doesn't love chocolate? A couple of years I ran the company like as if it was a big corporation. I was like one person, but 40 people. I would be customer service, speaking with the customer. I was fulfillment, shipping out things. I did everything. I would make up names. So one department, I would be Felicia. Another department, I would be Jessica. Kate would be nice. And then Michelle, someone who I didn't like, would be the mean person. But not the Michelle that works for me. It's another person. In 2 years, this company went from 1 employee to over 40 employees in our own fulfillment center. It just outgrew me, it outgrew him, and then we moved into a small office in an office building, and then we outgrew that probably in like 6 months, and that's how we ended up here. This all used to be in my basement. I don't know how it was in my house, but it was. From the beginning to now, I've always used Wix, and we actually still use that same template to this day. And then as I grew, I started to use more features of Wix, adding in the tracking, printing labels, the shipping. Where I see Ruby Love going and growing is to a billion-dollar company that will be another offset of tampons and sanitary pads. My first initial was to get to 100,000. I had surpassed that. And then my next goal was to get to like 500,000, but I had went to $1.1 million. And then I went to 5.5, and then I went to a little over $10 million. None of those were my goal. My goal was just to sell some underwear. That was it.
I have to say, Liat, that is such an awesome video. Like, how great is that?
So I really love this video of Crystal from Ruby Love and the business. Um, you know, the reason that I wanted to show that today was I think that a lot of people aren't aware of how far Wix eCommerce has come and how robust the platform is. And I'm really proud to talk about the platform today. And, you know, we have such outstanding e-commerce. And when you see videos like that, and, you know, Ruby Love are obviously a great seller, but we have a lot of businesses like that on Wix today that have huge fulfillment centers and do mass shipping and fulfillment and have, you know, insane amounts of orders and a full marketing department connected to their website. So there are so many things you can do with Wix eCommerce today. And I think like one of the best ways to show that is just to show a real business using the platform. So
I agree. I think it's great. And there's so many partners that may not know some of the hidden features of stores because, I mean, honestly, Liat, we're constantly improving. We're constantly adding. You and I work for Wix, and it's impossible to keep up with everything, right? Because there's so much happening. So I can understand. So what are some of the things that maybe, let's jump into it. Where should we start when we talk about specifically Wix stores?
So, you know, I think when you think about the different areas that are important to cover in e-commerce, and then I also want to kind of match up with opportunities for partners, I would say you have everything to do with the website and storefront, right? Which is, how does the store look? How do you set up the product catalog and inventory? And then what does buyer journey look like, right? And when I say buyer journey, I mean, when a customer comes to an online store, how are they going to buy from the store? What is the process that they go through? How easy is it for them to buy? How clear is it what they're buying? How are we providing all that information that they need? And, you know, I'll get into some examples in a minute. But I think that this is something that, you know, our partners are probably so great at because they're such experts in websites and online experience. And for a business coming online for the first time, that's a lot to deal with. You know your business really well and you know what you're selling, but you might not necessarily understand how you're doing that in an online setting. So those are all great opportunities. Then we have everything to do with the business setup, right? Like, how do I set up shipping for different regions, shipping for international? How do I set up and automate my taxes? So taxes is actually one that I really love talking about for partners, because in terms of the Wix platform, setting it up is really easy. You know, if you know what you're doing and what the taxes should be, it's like a 10-15 minute process. But I think that for businesses, and, you know, and I can even say this for myself, you know, as an employee of a company, doing your taxes is really stressful, right? And when you're creating a website and defining those settings about what the tax is that you're charging from your customers, and that's what you're going to use to, you know, to give to your accountant when you do your taxes, you really want to be sure that you've done that the right way. So I know, you know, we opened up an option for this request for users to get from partners. And that's definitely one of the most underserved areas that we've had. But, you know, if I was a partner, that's the one I would be jumping on, because I think it's such a great service. Businesses really, really need the guidance there. The same goes, by the way, for shipping. You know, setting up your different shipping regions and making sure that all of the shipping costs are getting calculated right can be really intimidating for a new online store. So those are both areas in the business settings that are really important. I'll actually show you some examples of them. I'm going to jump back and forth here on the slides just because I want you guys to look at this stuff, right?
So what are we looking at here?
So we're looking at a cart here, right? This is actually Ruby Love's checkout page. And you can see down there in the bottom corner that you have the shipping and you have the sales tax. So when somebody enters their address into the system, you're gonna see how those numbers adjust based on their address.
So this has, so if I'm shipping to a different place, it's going to real-time update right there on the summary.
Right.
Is that important as an experience of a buyer?
So I think you guys can even think about it as yourselves as shoppers, right? Like, I think one of the worst things that happens to me when I go through a checkout experience of an online store is no one tells me the information in advance about how much my shipping is going to cost and how much my taxes are going to be. And, you know, when you're not doing that as real-time calculations, then basically you can just have like one straight setting for the store. But that means you're probably taking a really high price to cover every possible region, instead of really customizing that to what each buyer should be paying based on where they are. And that can impact people's decisions to buy. And you can really lose a lot of people along the way at this point in the cart, right? So those are really important business settings that I think you need to take into account. And I'll actually back up a couple of steps here. I'll go to product page. So here's one example, and we'll look at another example. So, you know, a product page seems like a really straightforward and basic thing for somebody to be able to set up. And it's true that it's really easy to create a product page on Wix. But knowing what a product page should be and what it should include is really hard for somebody who's new to this, right? First of all, think of this really as your storefront, your store window. When you're doing merchandising in an offline store, right, you already know how to do your window displays, how to set up your shelves, like how you're going to show off those products. This is what your product page is. It's the equivalent, right? If somebody searched for a bathing suit on Google and came to this page, this is their interaction with the product. They don't get to feel the product, touch it, try it on. This is what they're going to get. So I think having really high quality images, I think even videos today is really important. People expect it. And then really detailed information, right? The more information you give people about a product, about its sizes, specs, colors, shipping weight, you know, giving them the different options of the variants that they can choose, are so important in a buyer decision. I know how many times I've gone to an online store and seen a product that I thought, that looks kind of cool, but then I can't really figure out what's going on with the product, all the exact details.
Right.
I'm like, probably not gonna buy it from here, right?
Liara, we've got so many great partners and great questions. There's one that I think really kind of speaks to what we're looking at here is, and Siobhan kind of touches on this. How customizable is this? What can we, like I've seen so many different beautiful stores, and I don't know that all of the partners are aware of just how customizable, like you call this the storefront, just how customizable that is. Can you say a couple things about that maybe?
So actually, I think that with Wix, you have the most customizable storefront in the market, right? As design experts, you guys must be really familiar with the advantages of our platform and the editor. And you can take all of those capabilities onto your product pages, onto the cart page, onto the checkout page. So really anything that you want to do, you can play with and set up. And there are also a lot of important add-ons that you can use. For example, related products, right? So again, think about yourselves in any kind of online store setting. You have the product that you're looking at, but then you're also getting suggestions of other products that might be interesting for you. Notice like the little banner here on these period leggings, right? Almost gone. So there's a lot of little details and nuances that are giving the buyer indications and information that are really important to them. And this is stuff that a partner can really help a new business with in terms of setting up that page. Here's another one. Notice they have a size chart that you can really dive into the details. And look how many options you have when you're selecting the product. You have styles, sizes, the different indications for the different pieces. And notice how they've created a bundle of products here in this specific one. So I think that they're really interesting things that you can do, and great ways that you can help buyers through the buyer journey and making their choices. And the other thing that I would say is really figuring out what the best flow is based on the product, right? So if you're dealing with a business that has one product, right, then you probably don't want to use an add to cart button, because there's no reason to go through a cart to get to checkout, because there's not anything else for me to buy, right? We just want to get you to check out as quickly as possible. So that's an example where I would expect to see a buy now button and go through the quick checkout flow.
Now that's interesting. So you're talking about buyer experience, which I mean, for partners to build these for clients, that's a kind of a tip of the trade there. If there's an item that isn't highly customizable, what's an example? You want to just immediately give them a buy now option and minimize the number of clicks. Can you give me an example of maybe a product like that?
Yeah, so I think even that site that we saw before of the pet beds, right? So they sell, that's literally the only product that they sell is great beds for your pet. So other than choosing the color and size, there are no other decisions to be making here, right? You just want to go straight to checkout on a product like that.
That's awesome.
But if they had a whole series of pet products and you also wanted them to buy the Chewy and some little goodies for your pet to eat, then you definitely want to be using like a related products. Or I'll show you another cool feature here in the Ruby Love checkout. So they're using that little pop-up down there under the Pay Now button. That's just suggesting another common item to you. So you're all the way in the cart already, you're about to pay, and they're like, hey, people who are buying this are also buying this, so you might want to add that to your cart just before you go. So
that's the number one thing that gets me on checkout. It's that little pop-up right there.
Gets us
every
all.
time.
We're all suckers for that one more little item before we go.
Let me ask you this, because Tanja asks a great question. What is that pop-up, and what's the name of that, and how could we put it on our stores or our clients' stores?
So glad that you asked, because that one is actually using Corvid. So we can share some information about it afterwards, but it's just a quick little integration with Corvid.
That's an amazing example of customizing based on buyers and the experience. And as much as I love that, I hate it because I'm a victim.
Totally, but that's also something that only a partner could help a new online store with, right? This is really taking a lot of knowledge of the Wix platform and bringing it together into that overall experience. We need design, we need Corvid, we need understanding of what good online flow looks like. So there are a ton of pieces coming in here that I would love to see partners helping our online stores with. And another really basic one that I can't tell you how many stores I see that have not set up their abandoned cart recovery automations. And it makes me so sad, because when they turn it on, this impacts their business so much, right? This is really a great way of getting those shoppers who were browsing to come back and complete the purchase. Think how many times you're on a website, you're about to buy, and then something happens. Your mom calls, your kids spilled the milk on the floor, like something happens, you're cut off in the middle, you go away. And then when that store reminds you, like 2 hours later or the next day, hey, remember those shoes you were looking at yesterday? Still interested? I'm like, yes, I am. Life just got in the way. So that is something that I really wish our partners would help the stores with more. It's really important. And, you know, this is kind of a great segue into even offering more marketing services and support, because, you know, this opens the door to email marketing in general. And how do you run a sale? And how do you do promotions? And then, you know, more and more. So just another great example of something that I know our users need help with.
And there's a lot. There's a lot. And I like the fact that you've sort of shown a few things that really impact the buyer's end of this. And I think this is really good information for the partners to know. It's almost like an internal checklist of e-com success tips, right? We need an abandoned cart. Let's add a pop-up. Let's make some suggestions while they're shopping. If you bring them there, let's upsell them, because let's face it, Liat, I'm the biggest sucker for upselling. I do it all the time.
You know, we all are, and I think it's also so important. Sometimes it's not even an upsell, really. It's just helping you with that shopping experience, right? We're all on tight schedules. We have limited time. We need to make decisions quickly when we're shopping online. And the more that the website helps us do that and makes the right information accessible to us, you know, oh, you like that? So probably these are the kinds of products you're interested in. Oh, you want to buy that now? Let me make this super easy and fast for you. Brett, I'm going to do one last quick tip. So I'm going back again to the checkout page, right? Because like one of my pet hates in life as a shopper, this is not as a Wix, is when websites make me sign up to be a member before they let me buy, right? It drives me crazy. But on the other hand, as a marketer, I know how important getting that sign up is, because I want to keep reaching out to you again and again with every offer that I have. So I think here, going back to that buyer journey, it's so important for a partner to guide a store in what is the right point in the journey to offer that. So here, my tip would be, if this is a new customer, let them complete their purchase. And then after they've made the purchase, you can ask them if they want to subscribe to your mailing list or if they want to become a member of the community. But then once they've become that member of your community, so notice how smart this is on Ruby Love's checkout, right? They have that little gray bar on the top left here that says, already have an account, log in for faster checkout. That means it's going to remember all of your details, your shipping address, your credit card info, right? We all hate filling that stuff out again and again every time we buy, right? So that's going to make that, you know, return shopping experience so much more seamless and enjoyable process for buyers. So again, this is stuff that, you know, partners should really be guiding our e-commerce users on.
This login, I love this where she's put it, and I like how what you've identified here is that you don't want, I mean, in best practices, it may not be best to make them become a member to purchase from you, but if you add an incentive like a faster checkout where you're pulling in the member login, that's great for local businesses, because like you said, since you're the marketer, you want to retarget them. And by the way, I didn't know you could do this, but Vinny, earlier when we were talking about the abandoned cart, one of the partners that's watching actually sends a discount coupon with that cart recovery automatic. I didn't even know you could do that.
It's such a great idea. And, you know, creating discounts and coupons, all of those great offers are ways to entice people to become members. A great idea is to include it in the abandoned cart recovery email, so you're bringing them back with an additional offer. So, you know, all of those coupons and sales and loyalty tools that we have are really great tools that partners can help new businesses know about and implement on their website and also in their marketing efforts. So those are all really great tools too.
Yeah, it's great. Juliet loves it. It's a great idea. These are such good tips, Liat. Like, I think in understanding the flow, and you've really revealed and dropped a few nuggets of gold here in showing that flow, and even some best practices really puts the partners in a position to surf that trend with some opportunities and know-how to really deliver for their clients on this. This is amazing. Yeah,
you know, I think here we're looking at an example of a really experienced e-commerce merchant, right? So Crystal from Ruby has been doing this for years, and she also knows the Wix platform really well now. But for a new business coming in, you know, this is going to take a lot of time to reach this level of optimization and understanding. And a business can really fast track that process if they work with a partner who's going to help guide them and set this stuff up. So, you know, I'll jump to here just to talk about some of like the interesting areas that I think partners can think about in terms of e-commerce. But I really, for anyone who's not familiar with our e-commerce platform, I welcome you and encourage you to go in and play with the platform and check out our management platform, which is so advanced and robust today. There are so many features there. You know, it really requires a deep dive. Thinking about multi-channel, right? So you notice when I was speaking about the website, sometimes I call it storefront. So, you know, I think that the difference between e-commerce platform and e-commerce website is that the platform is the piece that you use to manage your e-commerce, right? You're going to manage your product catalog, your inventory, your orders, your transactions, your payment provider, your payout schedule, you know, everything to do with the business behind the scenes. But then you can connect a lot of different pieces to that, right? One option is connecting your website, right? That's one kind of storefront that you have. But you can also connect social media channels. So today we allow you to easily connect a Facebook shop or Instagram. And we also have a great tool for creating Facebook ads automatically on Wix. So that's another great way to sell.
I want to come back to that one because just mentioning it, of all the things I've seen Wix do in the past period of time, that's probably one of the most powerful and impactful and least known features.
Huge, huge, huge. So impactful for businesses and such an amazing opportunity for partners, truly. So
let's put that back. Finish that because Liat, I really want to come back to that.
Yeah, we'll come back to that one. But, you know, we also have marketplace connections rolling out. So we have eBay in beta at the moment. It'll be rolling out soon, and additional marketplaces that you can sell on. So, you know, that really makes a huge difference for a business where you're able to help them understand how they're integrating their different sales channels. I put custom cart here because, you know, I think this is so unique in Wix that this is available on every single level of our plans. This is a feature that in a lot of competitor sites you're going to see as a really crazy expensive capability. And on Wix, it's available standardly in the editor, and you can do way more than you can do on most other platforms. So really customizing that cart and checkout experience. Shipping and fulfillment we spoke about. So, you know, today we have all of the options that you need for tracking your fulfillment, printing labels. We're integrated with USPS and other fulfillment providers, so you can easily get those products shipped and out the door. We have some great new partner apps like Shippo for really advanced shipping and fulfillment needs. Available in our app market. So again, a whole nother topic for a whole nother day.
That's a lot. I don't think they know that though, Liat. Like,
yeah, I'm
amazing.
Happy to keep talking to you guys at other opportunities. And Brett, maybe I'll just mention very briefly, I'll extend an invitation to the partner community. Starting next week, we actually have a series of webinars about Wix e-commerce for new businesses. So I'll give you the link and you can share it with the partner community. To be clear, these webinars are not aimed at partners, right? They're aimed at new stores and merchants. So if you're an experienced e-commerce partner, it's probably not for you. But if you're new to the world of e-commerce or e-commerce at Wix, I think it'll probably give you a great intro and overview of the platform. We also have product sourcing, so drop shipping and print on demand. I'm going to bet a lot of you didn't know that you could do that on Wix.
I want you to say that again. I want you to say the D word again very loudly, because when we started, that was the first thing that was asked like 15 times. Go ahead.
Drop shipping and print on demand, multiple marketplaces, So feel free to throw in the questions about the marketplaces shortly. But yes, you can drop ship on Wix. People do drop ship on Wix. They run great businesses. So really, really awesome. Actually, one of the webinars in that series that I mentioned to you is going to be hosted by Jill, who's the CEO of Modalist, the marketplace that we're integrated with. So you can come learn more about that if you like through that. Obviously, choosing from many global payment solutions, like the payment provider that's right for you. Wix actually has its own payment provider today called Wix Payments, which offers a lot of great options. So I recommend looking into that. Also a separate session and also available in that series that I spoke about. Everything to do with multilingual sites. So, you know, I think probably the partner community is really aware that Wix has anyway been really advanced in everything to do with multilingual. But you can also do that with Wix Stores and our e-commerce platform. And another insider tip, we're currently rolling out multi-currency for checkout. So that means shoppers will see the checkout in the currency based on their geo. So
That's awesome.
Probably some of you are already seeing that because it's in the process of rolling out. Everything to do with our CRM and marketing tools. I'm hoping the partners are familiar with these by now. I'll add here that we do have additional SEO capabilities specifically for stores and product pages. So we cover that in SEO sessions. Advanced roles and permissions, you know, when you're thinking about a business and an online store, these are really important because you have a lot of employees who need to be accessing the system, whether they're managing orders or handling shipping and fulfillment or possibly a marketing team. But there's also a lot of really sensitive financial information available in that same dashboard and platform. So you really need to know how to set these up right so that you're giving the right people the right level of access to your business. So again, I think a critical area that partners can really help new businesses on Wix figure out and create the right settings for them. And then in terms of app market, you know, we have so many new e-commerce apps and partners available in the app market that really allow you to do those additional extended or really specific pieces. So we can probably talk about that another day too, Brett, because there are a lot there for me to cover today.
This is a lot. And if I would probably pull out my phone right now and take a snapshot of this feature list, and each of those things I would roll into a service that I would provide. Like, this is almost like a checklist of amazing opportunity. That's how I see it, Liat.
I think there's so much opportunity here. And, you know, I think, Brett, you know this as well as I do, like as an employee of Wix, I love it when we can help our users through partners. Like, I just know how much impact that's going to have on our users' success and on their business and on their website. So, you know, I want for the partner community to really know where the opportunities are, and also that all of these are areas that we know our users are looking for help with. So, you know, I would love to see them succeeding and getting that help from experienced partners.
Absolutely. It's mutual. It's a win-win, right? So there's so much here. Are there any other platform features you want to go over? Because I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm itching to talk about Facebook ads.
Well, actually, that was the one that I was going to say. Let's not forget Facebook ads because it's just so good.
It really is. And we don't have a slide for it, so this will just kind of be a natural conversation, Liat. But I remember when we had the round table about Facebook ads, it really sort of showcased the integration specifically with Facebook that Wix has on the back end. Yeah. I don't want to steal the thunder, but can you tell us in a nutshell what the features of Facebook ad, what that feature is, what it brings, and why it's so powerful? And everybody in attendance, listen up. This is the gold. Here it comes.
So I'm sure, again, as partners, that you're all aware of how complicated doing marketing on Facebook is, right? As a marketer, I can tell you that it took me a really long time to figure out the ins and outs of doing marketing on Facebook and using that ad platform. And for new businesses, it's a really daunting task having to figure that out on top of all the overhead they have of their business. You need to do the connection and the setup. You have to figure out how you do target audiences. You have to figure out how you're doing the bids on the ads. You have to figure out how you're optimizing the results that you're seeing there. And it's such a complicated process, and also really expensive if you're going to like a high-end marketing agency to do that for you. So what Facebook ads on Wix does is it connects your Facebook page to your Wix store. And then we have a really smart AI algorithm that's going to learn the business's audience and run those ads for them automatically and keep optimizing them, right? So it creates those audiences. It learns, which people respond well to your ad and where your ad is working. It creates those retargeting audiences for you automatically. So essentially it runs amazing Facebook ad campaigns for your store and continually optimizes them and grows them. So that's really, really great. So I highly recommend.
It customizes the ad based on the views, the interaction. When you get, oh, hello, we've got an extra visitor.
I apologize, but these are the days of work from home. So this is Adam.
Hi, Adam. So it retargets based on interaction from, that's incredible. And Gail has a great question. What about Instagram?
So it also runs the ads on Instagram. So although we call it Facebook ads, it works on both Facebook and Instagram, and we'll do all of that optimization for you on both. So I think, if I was just talking to an e-commerce store, what I would say to them is, this is a great way for you to figure out how to do this on your own and really, really increase your sales and orders. We see such amazing impact to the businesses who are using this tool. And if I was talking to a partner, what I would say is, this is such a great service you can offer your clients, right? This is going to allow you to give them top tier marketing service and Facebook advertising through the power of Wix and that Wix algorithm. So definitely something that I would recommend that you set up for your business.
And I want to touch on one more thing, because I think one of the coolest things about this ad is when you run ads, oftentimes those ads are going to generate a lot of traffic, and you may run out of product. So Liat, what sort of things did Wix consider during something?
So, we're also going to give you a lot of recommendations in terms of how your ads are performing. So I think what's really great about that AI engine is that the algorithm learns what works for your business and doesn't. And it can actually tell you what are the things you should fix. So I'll give some examples. If we see that you're getting a lot of views on your ad itself and a lot of visits to the site, but those aren't converting really well, it can recommend to you that you need to optimize your site or your product pages, right? Because there's interest in the product, but then something's going wrong when people get to your site. On the other hand, if it sees that certain products are more effective than others, then it can tell you, you should really focus more on these ads, or you should consider adding more products into the ads that you're sharing out there. So as the AI engine learns about the business that it's promoting and the customers that it's matching with that, it's going to keep giving you recommendations of how you should optimize. And the really, really cool piece, this is like the one that I love the most, is it can actually tell you exactly how much money you should increase on the budget and how much growth you're going to see from that. So once the AI engine has learned your business inside out, it's going to tell you, if you add whatever, $200 more, you're going to see X% return on your ad spend. So it can get that specific. So that's really an amazing tool to be giving to your customers, or a service for you to be offering to them if they can't do it themselves.
I'm sorry, what did you say? I was setting up my store while you were. So, and one more thing I want to ask you, and I think this is also really incredibly important, right? What happens if I sell out and I've paid for this ad?
So you'll get all the warnings in the system, don't worry. And because it's fully integrated with your e-commerce store, it's fully integrated with your inventory, right? So it's promoting ads based on the inventory that you have. If inventory runs out, it's going to stop promoting that specific product. And you just see, all of the data fully integrated in one dashboard. So you're not having to kind of figure out, this is happening on this platform over here, but my catalog and inventory is over here, and trying to make sure those pieces are synced. Everything is fully synced and tracked on the platform.
That's the magic. I think what you just said are some of the most, and again, that feature is not as widely known as it should be. It's borderline sorcery.
Yeah, no, Brett, it's a crime not to use it, really. It's so good. And it just does magic for a business.
So it's a great question. And Juliet's asking a question. The Facebook ads is so amazing. Are there any plans, and maybe this is not the right question for you because you're specifically stores, but do you know of any plans of adding it to other services and other features within Wix, like bookings or something?
There definitely are plans. I'm sorry, I cannot comment on rollout of that or exact timing. You're better off asking the Facebook ads team directly, but definitely it is something that Wix will extend in the future.
It's just too good of a product, Liat. I think that really puts stores just that feature alone. When we had the round table, so many partners were wanting to start a store and start using ads. It was that impactful. So I think that's great. Is there anything else, Liat, you would like to add as we sort of come to a close here? And if there are any questions that you'd like to ask that we didn't cover, partners, please, now's the time to jump in. Is there anything you kind of want to touch on again before we end this?
So I think, again, just, inviting you all to join more of our e-commerce sessions. I would love any feedback that you have for us, both in terms of the platform itself or features or functionality that you want us to add, and definitely just about content that you'd like us to focus on more moving forward. I think we touched really broadly on a lot of different areas that you're going to get in the Wix e-commerce platform. So I'd love to know, which ones are most important to partners for us to give them more information and more training, and then we're happy to do that.
I think it's great. I think it's really, really great. So there are a lot of people asking questions about how to set up their Facebook ad feature. Maybe we can find a link on the back end team for that. So Liat, I think there's just so much here. Actually, I'll grab this one. I know it's possible, so I'll go ahead and grab this one. Ryan is interested in reviews for products. Is there a way to do that in Wix Stores?
There is a way to do that in Wix Stores. We have a couple of apps available in the app market, so go ahead and look for them in the Wix app market. And we can provide a couple of links. I'm sure the team can share some links there, so you can go check those out directly.
Very good, very good. Okay, so I think we've pretty much covered so much, and this is a lot of information, and my head's going to explode, Liat. I want to thank you for coming and spending your day here and showing us all these amazing features. We look forward to hearing more. Everybody that's in attendance, if you're interested, Liat, if you're okay, I'd like to, in the follow-up email, send them a link so they can join and see more about the bootcamp that you're talking about.
Sure, absolutely. We'll share the link for that.
Perfect. So, and also if you're in attendance and you want to watch this again, we'll also send a link to watch. So be looking in your inbox for that. So from all of us at Wix, thanks for coming. Partners, awesome to see you. Liat, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
And everybody stay safe. Bye.